Here's how you can tap into 97% of the market, which real estate agents and developers are leaving completely untapped, and how you can position yourself as the trusted expert in your market to build a consistent and predictable pipeline in business instead of chasing people all day long. So the people who play short-term games normally lose, and the people who play long-term games normally win. Most people want to get rich quick, so they run ads to get people looking to move now. But what they don't understand is that they're fishing in the exact same pond as everybody else. Because most agents have the exact same mindset of only wanting to speak to people looking to move now. And this is just 3% of the market, which you can see here at the bottom of this funnel. These are people who are searching for things like homes for sale in Miami. They're requesting home valuations. They're filling out contact an agent forms on websites. They're clicking Google search ads. They're looking at listings on property portals. And they're also filling out forms on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube as well. And every agent is competing for these people. This results in higher lead costs, more competition, lower conversion rates, and agents saying online lead generation doesn't work. It's not that it doesn't work, it's just that you may have a short-term mindset and that makes it very difficult for it to work. So 3% are actively looking to buy, another 17% are in the information gathering phase. These people are thinking to move in the next 6 to 24 months. They're wondering if they should upsize or downsize. They're considering relocating. They're curious about market conditions. They're looking at homes for fun. So instead of in the 3% where you may have an ad saying something like, thinking of selling, click for a free home evaluation. Here you could have something like the 2026 Home Sellers Guide, what your home could be worth in 2026, top 10 mistakes sellers make, and the cost of waiting to buy it. These are just examples of lead magnets that you could use in order to capture people's information in order to be able to help them and provide value upfront so that over time you become a trusted agent and not just another agent looking for their next commission check. The next 20% of the market is problem aware. These people know they have a problem, like, for example, their house is too small, or, maybe their house is too big if they're empty nesters. The home requires too much maintenance. They want a better area for schools for their kids, and they have mortgage rate concerns. But these people are not yet ready to talk to an agent. And some content examples, you could use for this segment of the market is 5 signs it's time to upsize, should you renovate or move, and how much equity do you really have? And a whopping 60% of the market is not problem aware. And what this means is these people are not yet even considering a solution to the problem because they don't even know they have a problem yet. It's 60% of the market. This is where the goldmine is at, but it requires a long-term mindset, which most people just don't have. These people don't think they're moving, but a new job may arise, they may have a divorce, they may be retiring, they may get a job in a new city, so they need to relocate. They may inherit a property from a deceased family member. Here, your job is to educate and create awareness of yourself. So content examples here are how homeowners are building wealth through equity, the hidden cost of staying in the wrong home, and what every homeowner should know about X area. So the idea here is basically to capture their information and then nurture those people so that when it comes time to sell, then you are the trusted expert in your market. And how you do this is run for example, a lead magnet, saying something like the top 7 mistakes homeowners make when they're selling. And then now you have their information, you have their email, you have their phone number, you have their name, and here's where you can nurture them. So you can nurture them through Facebook and Instagram videos or TikTok videos. You can use YouTube videos, as I'm literally doing right now, to nurture your database. And this is something that is like very high leverage. So you collect all this information from these people, you collect their data very cheap, because you're not targeting the 3% like everybody else is. And now once you have them in the database, you can speak to them like whenever you want. You can literally send them an email and a text every single day. Obviously I don't recommend that, but I'm just giving you the idea. And you could be emailing them, for example, a YouTube video every single week. And now you're creating one YouTube video and it could be reaching, 10,000 people. So it's a very high leverage activity, and it's something that allows you to not be chasing people and instead has people chasing you, if anything, because you are now the trusted expert in the market. You're the only agent who's actually kept in touch with them, provided value to them upfront, and not asked them for anything in return. So this is, this kind of goes back to Gary Vee's concept of jab, 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 right hook, meaning, give, and then ask. So, over time, you can make these occasional asks about, who wants to, about who wants to get the value of their home, fill out the details to get it. And that's where you are going to have a much higher conversion rate because you've already provided so much value to people. And you're not just fishing in the same pond as these other agents who are looking to, they're basically looking to fight over scraps, right? It's only 3% of the market. Again, this does require a long-term mindset. You need to have systems in place in order to be able to nurture people consistently, whether that's creating one YouTube video per week. It could be creating market update videos on Facebook and Instagram, for example. This is something I recommend my clients do every 2 weeks, so every month at a bare minimum, so that people can see you and hear you and they can get an update of their market. And you're probably going to be the only person doing it in your market. It's something that pretty much nobody does, and it allows you to keep in touch with people and also provide value to your audience. And once you've done this for about 6 months, you could even send a text out every single month, just asking who wants a valuation on their property. And because these people know you, they like you, and by now they might trust you as well as an expert in your market, they are far more likely to actually respond to that and actually give you the time of day to actually go to their home and give them an evaluation on their property. But most of you won't put in the effort to actually do this and nurture people. Most of you will try and fight over the scraps, which is only 3% of the market. And you'll expect people to work with you just because they filled out your form on Facebook or wherever it may be. But for the few that actually do this, this is why you will win.